shit. A piece of shit. Oh, Jake, you suck.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Talking to Myself. This is the first episode with this weird fucking professional mic stand thing. So I hope that it sounds good. I'm trying to get rid of that feedback when I touch the fucking mic. Whatever that the technical term for that is. Badunk funk is what I call it. Fucking that fucking noise. Trying to get rid of that when I'm ripping the goddamn microphone around all over my face. Anyway, you don't know what I'm talking about if you're not watching right now. I got a professional mic stand, or at least the cheap version of it. It was like $12 fucking. If you've ever watched a podcast on YouTube, you'll see this goddamn thing that I have on the screen right now in their videos, and now you see it in mine. The fucking janky, cheap dollar store version of it. But you know what? If it does the job right, if it reduces that sound that I'm now making with my mouth to irritate you, then that's good. If it takes that down, that's good. All right. Anyway, hello. Did I say the name? It's Talking to Myself. It's another episode of Talking to Myself. This is episode 17. So we're deep in it, motherfuckers. We're deep in this shit. And I'm still saying fuck a lot without even realizing I'm saying it. This podcast has made me learn two things about myself. I really don't care much about revealing deeply personal things. And I say fuck so much more than I ever realized. Doing this podcast now, when I have regular conversations with people, I'm constantly questioning how much I'm cursing. I'm always looking for children around me in a way I've never looked before. I'm always like, God damn it. No kid should ever be near me because all I say is the fuck word. All constantly. How many people have I offended unknowingly? Because also, my parents, I forget that they're very like, they still say the F word for fuck. So they really don't want to hear it. So how many people their age or younger have I just offended without even knowing it? Just, hey, what the fuck's up? And they're like, oh my God, you speak with that potty mouth, you piece of shit? Anyway, this is the podcast. It's me just talking to myself. For those of you who have been listening, you know that. For those of you new to the podcast, this is what I do. I just rant and rave to the camera, and sometimes I look you dead in the eye, and sometimes I veer off and think about things. But whatever I'm doing, it's hopefully entertaining. Anyway, I'm just sorry. I'm obsessed with the levels on the mic right now because it's so. I might be a little off this episode because I'm usually just fucking ripping that thing as if I'm doing stand up, holding the mic like I'm doing stand up, and now it's this very professional. I feel like I should be wearing headphones type of a deal, but I don't want to wear headphones because they make me uncomfortable. All right, they pinch my ears and they feel bad, so I'm not gonna do that. Anyway, by the way, the theme song, the opening song to this podcast is by Rowan Scholes. I think that's how you pronounce her last name. I might have just fucked it up. But she, I think on Spotify, her artist name is just Rowan. She's a very, very, very good singer-songwriter, and you should check her music out. Yeah. So, I don't know. I've never said that. Every time you guys have been hearing this theme song, if you've been wondering, like, where is this from? This person's amazing. This is a talented artist. Her name's Rowan. Look her up on Spotify. She's got an album called Bones. Then I forget the name of her second album, but it's on Spotify. I listened to it. It's very good. Check it out. But all that aside, somebody else also reached out to me this week and told me that they like the podcast. I love you. Thank you for saying that you like the podcast. It was cool hearing from you. And also, I hope you're listening now. I hope you're doing well. And I really appreciate that. Like, sincerely. Thank you. Anyway, all that housekeeping aside, I got a show at Pine Box Rock Shop, July 7th. It's a Sunday, at 7:30. You should be there. It's gonna be hilarious. Anyway, all that aside, fuck it. Okay, this week has been a weird week for me. All right, I've been feeling shitty all week this week. I've been feeling horrible. I don't know about you guys, but I don't know if I want to say often. Often's going to make it sound depressing. I wake up a lot feeling like, hey, am I really going to do this? I wake up feeling like, hey, do I need to do my life today? Which I understand is not an original thought. Like, I'm not the first person to say, hey man, fuck this shit. But really, dude, I feel that on a quad weekly basis. At least 4 times a week, I wake up going, how many more years of this shit do I gotta do? I have a joke that I think might be too dark to do on stage, but it's like, I don't know. I've had this thought of I'm 26, right? And I've often thought, like, am I really going to do 26 more years of this shit? The 26 years have been good. They've had their ups and downs, but I'm kind of, I'm getting sick of it. Just the everyday, the fucking lows, I hate waking. I gotta adjust something in my life because most days I wake up and it takes me several hours to feel like I'm existing. You know what I'm talking about? It takes me at least 4 to 5 hours to feel like, all right, I'm alive again. I'm in this weird, groggy fucking haze for the majority of the day, and then once it gets late enough to go to sleep, I'm like, fuck yeah, man, let's go do something. I feel like a real human being again. And I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's not alcoholism. Because I haven't been drinking a lot lately. I've actually like cut it down severely, which has made me feel a little bit better. But I do. Maybe it's from caffeine. Dude, I have such a debilitating addiction to caffeine. Everything I'm addicted to gets no respect in the addiction world. I'm addicted to caffeine, video games, and pornography. I have the vices of a fucking 13-year-old boy. Of a middle school child buying fucking monsters for QR codes. It's the amount of video games I play and Monster energy drinks I drink. It's kind of fucked up and wasteful. The fact that I've never cashed in on any of their weird rewards for video games. I don't play Black Ops, okay? I don't play Assassin's Creed, all right? If they had some sort of God of War bonus with their Monster Energy drink, I would have been all over that shit, okay? But they want me to play that fucking Blops, dude, that multiplayer bullshit that I don't want to play anymore. I'm not in high school anymore, man. Kids playing Fortnite. When you have no idea how many 26-year-old men, how many almost 30-year-old men have come up to me and been like, hey man, have you played Fortnite yet? Hey man, no. Hey man, I'm never going to play Fortnite. You know why? I'm not in 9th grade anymore. Okay? I'm not in 8th grade getting my first console and going, hey man, I got unlimited time to play this fucking shooter. Let me get good at this thing that years later I'm going to be like, why did I invest that much time in that in high school, and why can I not stop playing it now? All right, dude? I still play Gears of War 3 when I'm bored in bot matches because I can't break the addiction to fucking video games. You think I need Fortnite in my life? You think I need a new game to not be able to stop playing when I'm old enough to have fucking children? I don't think so, dude. playing Fortnite next to my 6-year-old son. Dad, what are you doing? I'm just flossing to blow off some stress. No, dude. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. Gears of War was my game. All right. It also shows you how much times have changed because literally Fortnite is Gears of War. Fortnite is made by Epic, who made Gears of War. Last generation, they made Gears of War for me at 13 years old. Now they're making Fortnite for the kids who are 13 now, which means that back in the day, they thought 13-year-olds wanted ultra masculine G.I. Joe looking fucking soldier. You ever see toy soldiers? Gears of War is the video game version of toy soldiers. Okay, Cliff Bleszinski, aka the Dude, wasn't that what he wanted people to call him, the Big Dude or the Dude Johnson? He had some nickname that okay, I'm all over the place right now, but Cliff Bleszinski apparently wanted people at the company to call him the Dude. I don't know if that's correct, but it was something like that. First of all, Cliff, I understand why you're in tune with 13-year-olds and what games they want to play because, I mean, that's a very 13-year-old move. That's a very fucking middle school, 8th grade, going into 9th grade move to be like, hey, man, here's this nickname you guys should call me. And then all your friends go, hey, Cliff, nicknames work like this. We give you one and it sticks or it doesn't. You don't get to make up your own nickname, Cliff. You fucking idiot. Hey, Cliff, you're Cliff, okay? We're not calling you the Dude Johnson or whatever the fucking bullshit name you want to be called. You're not an alpha, bro. And then Cliff was like, I'm going to make games about fucking the most alphas in the world. Flash forward to Gears of War and fucking 13-year-old me's like, oh, dude, Marcus Phoenix, dude, let's kill the locusts. Dude, that's a chainsaw on the gun? What the fuck? Oh my god. That was the big thing about Gears of War. Your fucking assault rifle has a chainsaw on it. So now, not only are you an edgy real life G.I. Joe soldier, but you can also chainsaw noobs in half. And and you can curb stomp motherfuckers. Anyway, put it this way. Back in the day, we played Gears of War, and people would get downed. If you don't play video games, you might not know what the fuck I'm talking about. But if you do play video games, you do. In Gears of War, you would shoot somebody until they got downed. And then once they were downed, in the first game, they couldn't move around. But once they were downed, if you were playing Execution, the guy could get up in 15, 20 seconds, whatever you set it to. Or if you were playing Warzone, he would die in 20, 15 seconds. He would bleed out. So in Gears of War, we were fucking, like, people get, I don't even know if they still teabag. Do you guys remember this? Teabagging? Times have changed, huh? We used to teabag people in video games. When you would shoot them, well, that's what they would do in Call of Duty. In Call of Duty, you would shoot somebody, and then you would fucking hit the B button to crouch and stand over someone's corpse, which was supposed to be like teabagging, like dipping your testicles into the person's mouth. Not literally, because the game didn't have the animation and the technical capability to have an actual teabag happen. But, it was the visual of it. But in Gears of War, we took it to the next level because, and it's one of those things where you wonder if the people making the game understood that they were setting up systems for kids to do the most fucked up shit possible. Because in Gears of War, what you would do is the guy would get downed, and when he's downed, he's like crouched over, right? So of course, people would walk behind the guy and then walk back and forth like they were fucking the guy in the butt. So, or you would go in the front of the guy and then you would keep aiming your pistol. You would aim your pistol at the ground and then keep aiming it so that it looked like, I hit the mic. If you're watching the video podcast, so you go like this, and then you start shooting the pistol, and you'd like shoot the guy in the head, and so you would look like you were jerking off and coming on the guy. What I'm saying is, we went from doing that as 13-year-old boys, being gross 13-year-old idiots, just being like, let me degrade the guy in the video game. We went from fake humping the back of the guy and fake masturbating in the guy's face and then stomping his head off to flossing on a cartoon dead guy. That's what I'm saying. Just look at the visuals of Fortnite and look at the visuals of Gears of War and tell me that things have gotten at least a little bit softer in society. Probably for the best. I mean, no one needed that fucking ultra. I mean, Gears of War has got a sweet spot in my heart just because I grew up with it. I mean, I've had so many great times on Xbox playing with friends all fucking day. Fucked up times too, but really great times that you'll never get again because video games are becoming this very important thing to young kids where it's you don't have any responsibility, you don't have anything to do besides play these games. And so you play these games and then you play online with your friends and you play them all hours of the night and you form strong bonds with these people. I mean, you're talking for hours and hours and hours with another person while you're, in a team with them, like fighting other people. You become really close friends with the people you play video games with in high school over Xbox Live or PlayStation or whatever the fuck it is. The computer, bro, if you're a steamer. I don't know what the fuck I'm saying. I'm realizing that I'm talking to my podcast is not that big of an audience, and now I'm really honing in on like one specific group of people who play video games. I don't know what I'm saying. I don't know. I'm so out of the loop with video. I'm so out of the loop of what new games are, but I still play. Dude, I still play fucking old games. Here's the thing about video games, man. And maybe this is bad. Maybe I might not have my kid play games because of how I am with them. It's just like if I don't have shit to do and the console is in the house, I'm going to put the controller in my hand and just play for way too long of a time. Because here's the thing about video games. They're better than life. They are. Everyone who doesn't play video games is like, how do people get addicted to them? If you started playing them, you'd understand. Because everyone who plays video games is addicted to them because they understand that it's better than life. Hey man, I just walked up a mountain and fought a dragon and killed it and took its scales and made armor out of it, and now I'm wearing it, and I'm the king of fucking Skyrim, and you're telling me about your bad day working as a barista? Hey man, I just saved the realms from the Daedra. I don't give a fuck about your barista job. All right, dude? I just survived all 50 waves of Horde, and you're telling me about how you're not on the right career path? I don't give a fuck, dude. But you can't explain to it's hard to explain to people, like when you're dating somebody too, it's hard to explain, like, listen, I here's the thing. I would love to hang out tonight, but I've already gotten 37 Odin's Ravens, and I need 50 to get the trophy I want. So I would love to go out and have a good night with you, but I gotta get those 50 fucking neon green Ravens. And she's like, so you want to go throw an axe at ravens as the what? The god of war? Rather than come hang out with me and probably, have a really nice night and have sex and fulfill your role as a human being. Yeah, no, I got to get these ravens first. Listen, I would love to fucking meet your parents tonight, but I have to stop the Joker from releasing the toxins in Gotham. I gotta do it. You know that you're 26 years old, right, Jake? Yeah, I'm aware of that. But Batman's 40 and he still fights crime. So riddle me that one, you fuck. Oh, fuck, the Riddler's on the loose too. I gotta fucking stop the Riddler. He's got these saw-like traps. He's gonna kill people. But first I gotta find out, mirror, mirror on the wall, who the fuck is this asshole playing video games all goddamn day? Do you know what that riddle is? Do you know the answer to that riddle? Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the dumbest fuck of them all? Won't stop playing video games every day. Hey, holy shit, this man is going to die astray. I don't know what the fuck I'm saying. This doesn't even make any sense. These are bad rhymes. These aren't even good rhymes. These are bad. Anyway, that's what I'm saying. Video games are better than life, man. And then, I mean, I've talked about pornography a little bit before on here. You just watch it. Men watch. Oh, man. I don't think people are aware of how much men watch porn. I don't think people are aware. I don't think people are aware. And I'm thinking about it for me when I was a kid, when it just got presented. Like the internet just started booming with plentiful online pornography, right? Imagine now. There was never I had the moment where it was AOL, so I didn't even know porn existed yet. And then the moment the shift happened where it's like, oh, Internet Explorer, fucking Mozilla Firefox, Google Chrome, incognito mode, holy fuck. There's all of this goddamn porn. Incognito mode? Do you understand how much that changed the game? Because before that, your parents were like, hey, we know what you're watching, and you can't watch it because it's not Christian. But then you do incognito mode, and you're like, you don't know what I'm watching because fuck you. Oh, dude. I remember the first time I was caught with porn. I think it was only like one time. It was only like. Also, when I have a kid, I'm not going to do what my fucking parents did. I don't know. My mom thought it was unholy. I don't know, man. Why am I talking about this? This is not what I expected to talk about. But you know what? I'm going down the rabbit hole. You know, having this stem here, this mic stand is actually making me feel a little freer. Makes me feel like I'm having a conversation more with you guys rather than delivering a speech on a fucking microphone like I'm standing on a goddamn platform releasing my thoughts to all you great people. Anyway, my mom, it was like one morning and I was doing my things, young boy. I was probably like 13, 14, and I was, finagling with myself on my computer because I had a computer in my room. And which, if you have a kid and you buy him a computer and it's in his room with him, he's bound to start jerking off a lot. He's bound to start figuring out where the porn is and looking at it too much. So, I was a young kid. Like I said, I was playing video games with most of my time. The other time, I was like, hey, I guess I'll figure out what this whole sex thing is. They're sure as fuck not teaching me in school. That's a thing, too, is that sex education, I don't know if it's gotten better, but for us, we didn't have any of it. Which is another fucked up thing, is I think most children are learning sex on porn, like through porn, which is, I don't know if that's a good thing. Because there's some fucked up and twisted shit out there, and if that's the first video you see, it's gonna shape you in a weird way. But I'm not here to shame anybody. Anyway, so my mom comes in, or my mom's like, my door was unlocked. I didn't realize. So my mom goes to come in to get my hamper or something, and I'm looking at porn in the middle of the day like a fucking savage, like a gross fuck. And I realize the door's unlocked, so I run to the door and I hold it shut. And my mom's like, Jake, let me get in. I'm trying to get your hamper. I was like, oh, 1 minute. And then I don't know if my mom heard the porn or what, but she all of a sudden went into this weird mode where she was like, I have to get inside this room. I have to get inside this room. So she starts being like, Jake, open up, Jake, open up. And I was like, no, mom, I need a minute. And she's like, no, open up. I don't know if she thought I was like doing drugs or what the fuck she was thinking. If she was just thinking I was looking at porn, she was being too aggressive. If I have a son and I think he's looking at porn or doing something personal, my instinct isn't fight or flight. Let me get in that room. My instinct is let me get the fuck away from you and give you your space. But my mom was fight or flight. I got to get in that room. Why is he not letting me in that room? I understand. That seems maternal enough. So she gets in the room and then I just turn off. Like my brain turns off. Because this moment is happening now. My mom has caught me. I didn't have time to click it off. I didn't have time. If I ran to click it off, she would know what I was doing. And so I forget if I just left it on or if I did click it off, but she still saw it anyway. But anyway, what happened was my mom comes in, I let her come in, I just sit on the bed, and then she's like, what are you doing? Are you watching porn? What is this? What are you watching? And I was like, nope, I'm not. And then she went on my computer and starts looking through what I was watching, which is weird. What do you do? It's so weird. Why do you want to have that moment with your kid? All right? Just let him fucking go in my room later when I'm at school, you fucking weirdo. Go, and then look at what I'm watching and see if you approve or not. Don't look at my fucking sexual tastes right in front of me like that. You're my mother, you sick fuck. So anyway, at the time I was watching a lot of lesbian porn. Why am I talking about this? You know what? Because it's honest, okay? Because fuck you guys. At the time I was watching a lot of lesbian porn, which is not untrue today. Sorry, that was the timer. So here, let me switch. Okay, so I was watching a lot of lesbian porn there. That's where we'll stop for now, and we'll go into the next part of the show. All right, and we are back. Okay, so lesbian porn. Okay, so at the time I was watching a lot of that. When I was younger, the first pornography. What am I, a fucking 50-year-old man? The first video I ever saw was just two girls kissing on a couch. That's what it was. That was my introduction to porn. Actually, no, it wasn't. The first time I saw anything... Wait, let me finish this story up. So, and then I'll explain why I looked at the stuff I looked at. Anyway, so my mother is looking at it, and she's very Christian, so she's just like... At the time, now, I've talked to you guys about this, I've made my mom not homophobic anymore. She used to be more homophobic, but now she's not, through years and years of me going, why is it wrong? Why is it wrong? And breaking it down for her to the point where she understood, oh, it's not wrong. It's just people like... some people like loving the same sex as them, and that's fucking cool. But my mom didn't understand that at the time when I was 13. And at that time, I was 13, jerking off, playing video games. I didn't really have the mental capacity to debate my mom on whether or not homosexuality is okay. I was too busy trying not to get in trouble in this moment. So, but now I've done the work, and it paid off. So what happened was... I just sat on my bed and my mom's like, you're watching this porn? Why are you watching this? Why are you watching this? You're not supposed to be watching this. And then I was like, I did it. I wasn't. And she was like, yeah, you are. Jake, I'm looking at it right now. You're watching porn. And I was like, nope, I'm not. And she goes, yes, you are. I'm seeing it right now. I'm seeing it in your history. I go, no, that wasn't me. That wasn't me. I wasn't watching it. I wasn't. And I just kept saying I didn't watch it. Over and over and over again. I don't even remember why. I just remembered that I couldn't admit it. I could not admit that I was watching porn. I couldn't. And I remember in that moment feeling really weird about it, really fucked up that I couldn't just admit it. I couldn't just say, yeah, I was watching it. I had to keep saying, no, I wasn't. 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 Because I think, I knew that my mom thought it was really wrong, so I didn't want to be I didn't want my mom to look at me like a fucked up individual. You know what I'm saying? Which, in retrospect now, I'm like, she shouldn't have looked at me as a fucked up individual. It's very natural for a young kid to watch porn, man or woman, anybody. You're curious about sex, you're going to watch stuff, you get aroused, you feel certain things. Everyone should masturbate, is my point, okay? If you're not masturbating, you got to figure out how to start doing that because you're going to have a better life. Put it this way. In my life, everyone who I've met who masturbates almost not at all, they're very high-strung people. Every time I've met someone who the majority of the people were like, dude, that person is fucking uptight, I found out later, oh, they don't ever masturbate. I wonder why they're so angry all the time. And dude, before masturbation, I was the angriest fucking kid in the world. And guess what? Now, I'm only angry when it comes to trying to be funny. I'll get mad at something for the sake of the joke, but I'm not going to get legitimately angry, or hateful. I'll be like, oh, I hate that because it's fun and we're joking around. But legitimate hate, I haven't felt that since the first time semen came out of my penis. Anyway, so what I'm saying is if everyone masturbated, there'd be a lot less hate in the world. So I just kept denying it. And then my mom was like, I forget, she blocked the internet from me for a little bit or something like that. But I just went to other sites. I figured out loopholes. I figured out how to watch the shit. And then I remember she found it a second time and I did the same thing. I just kept saying, nope, wasn't me, didn't do it, wasn't me, didn't do it, wasn't me. And then my mom did a similar thing where she tried to block stuff. And then that was it. And then after that, I could even see in her eyes the second time she was like, I don't know what I'm going to do. I was also getting older. I was 16 maybe the second time. Good 3-year window of me fucking just getting away with jerking off. It's not hard to get away with. We had locks on our doors and I had a computer in my room. It's not that hard to get away. It's actually surprising and negligent and very 13 years old of me to not have locked that door that one time. If I just locked the door, my mom would have been like, what are you doing? I would have been like, getting changed. She'd be like, okay, I'll get your hamper later. But instead, the door popped open. She heard a little bit of, and she was like, what the fuck is going on? So anyway. No, yeah, pornography, man. Kids, adult people, men watch porn way too much. They do. Think of the amount you think that men watch porn. Okay, now take that number and quadruple it, okay? And then take that quadrupled number and double it, and that's a fraction of how long men watch porn during the week. Okay? They did, yeah. It's a debilitating thing. People gotta get off it. I'm watching less nowadays, which I think is good. It's just, I don't know, you get older and you're just like, I don't know about all this stuff. I don't know, it's so weird. Pornography is a weird, fucked up thing. There are people who are very much like, it's evil, it's horrible, it's fucked up, and there are people who are like, oh, it's empowering. Some people are, it's weird because there's a feminist angle of, the women are in control of their bodies and they're doing what they want with them and they're making money off of it. And then there's the feminist point of view of oh no, it's all degrading, it's all fucked up, it's all weird. I understand both points of view and I think they're both valid and have merit to them. And yeah, I don't know. It's also weird because porn is porn might be the most mainstream thing in existence, and yet we act like we don't really talk about it too much. We talk about it way more than we used to, but Riley Reid is on a bunch of people's podcasts. She's probably more well known than certain celebrities, dude. People just don't openly admit it. There are plenty of porn stars who are more popular than fucking athletes. I would guarantee you that. Think of how many people, how many dudes don't watch sports. Think about this. Everybody who watches sports, every man who watches sports can probably name 5 female porn stars. And then every male who doesn't watch sports can also name 5 fucking porn stars, which means that I bet you guys know way more porn stars than they do athletes, which is fucking crazy, and it shows you how much we are watching it way too much. Fucking perverted fucking assholes, dude. Gonna have to cut my goddamn dick off. What am I talking about, dude? This is not safe for work, okay? Don't listen to this at your job unless you want to get promoted, my man. Hell yeah. All right. Well, maybe I should talk about something on the list. Fuck it. I'm talking about what I was going to talk about before of lesbian porn is that I know everyone's like, oh, it's not real lesbians. Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's not. It's just 2 attractive ladies kissing. That's basically what it is. It's you know what it is? It's for young guys who don't want to see a penis. Or I think it's for, well, it's funny too, because I dated somebody who the only porn she watched was lesbian porn. A few women, I've heard that is a thing of women. Statistically, women watch lesbian porn more than any other kind of porn, which makes sense. I mean, I watched it because this is what happened. I had a friend who started watching porn way too early. I've said porn more than fuck on this episode. That's crazy. Is that what I'm doing now? I'm just shifting fuck to another dirty word. The P word. Don't say the P word. Penis? No, fucking porn. Anyway, what was I talking about? Oh, okay. So my introduction to porn was a very aggressive one. I had a friend who, kind of a douchebag now in retrospect, but he was a good friend to me at the time. But he was like one of the first kids to look at porn, and he watched it a lot. And at football practice, wow, this is so fucking long ago. I was playing football. God damn. I got some weird football stories too. Anyway, or not weird, just whatever. Doesn't matter. So I went to his house. He every day at practice he would talk about fucking porn constantly. We actually had a lady, if I'm Bill Burr, we had a lady on our football team. Wow, dude, we were fucking ahead of our time, dude. Pee Wee football, we had a girl on the team. I remember we fucking went at her too. We were that was fucking equality, dude. Anyway, what am I talking about? Porn. That's what I'm talking about. Anyway, so fucking scatterbrained right now. I went to his house. This kid was obsessed with porn, talked about it all the time, and I went to his house, and I remember he would go on this site. It was like this weird site that had one clip in every category every day. I guess this was early porn, but he liked watching hardcore. So I was like, oh, I guess he wanted to show me porn. He's like, you've never watched porn? What the fuck? He was fascinated by the fact that I had never watched porn before. And yet everyone in our age group hasn't watched porn yet because we were in 6th grade, okay? All right? It was not time to watch, or we were in 5th grade maybe. It was not time to have seen porn yet. So you shouldn't be surprised that I haven't seen it yet, you fucking Dave. All right, Dave, you shouldn't be so surprised. Anyway, I won't say his last name. I said I'd never say a name. His name's not actually David, Stan. Is it? Who knows? Maybe it's Donald. I don't fucking know, dude. Anyway, so it was, and he was like, oh, dude, this is what I like to watch. And it was hardcore, right? And since then, I've seen hardcore porn that isn't this, but for whatever reason, this site seemed to think, and maybe the early days of porn thought this, hardcore porn was just a fucking tight box video, and it was a penis and a vagina, and the penis was just severely ramming into a vagina. Just a close-up of a penis and a vagina. So I thought, oh, this is pornography? I don't want to have anything to do with this. Think about a young kid who's never seen a vagina before. All of a sudden, his first sight of a vagina is a penis being violently hammered into it in an unflattering angle where I don't quite know what the parts are. I just see things mashing together. You know, you would think that's not the best introduction to sex, right? And it wasn't, because I was like, oh, that's sex? I'm not into it. That seems aggressive. And I'm into all kinds of sexual play. Like I like aggressive stuff. I like more tender stuff. Whatever the fuck you want to do. But I think that at fucking 11 years old was just like, hey man, is this the only thing you do? Isn't there kissing involved? Or like, don't I get to see the rest of the woman's body? I don't understand why it's just vagina and penis in this clip. So anyway, I went thinking that was porn. I thought that was porn. And then so for a while I didn't look at it for at least like a couple months. Well, it's one of those things where it's like this new weird, like, oh my God, it was gross and awful, but at the same time it was like very curious, and I was like, wait, I got to find out more about whatever this sex thing is. Also, there was this deep instinct in me of like, that can't be all there is. There has to be other things out there. It can't just be that. Sex is supposed to be this amazing thing that everyone likes, and that's what it is? It's got to look more flattering than that on camera sometimes. So what I did was I asked him, I was like, what, I was like, do they ever kiss? That's what I said. I said, do they ever kiss in porn? Like, is there kissing in any of it? And he's like, oh, well, if you like watch lesbian stuff, then it's like there's kissing. So then I looked up lesbian kissing, and then the first video that I watched that I was just two girls making out on a like in a car or something. Like that's all it was. That's all it was. Very tame, very very loving. That's what I liked about it. It was very it was nice. They seemed to like each other. It was tender. It was like romantic. That's what I fucking liked. And eventually I got into more aggressive things, and I worked my way up to seeing a penis in a porn and watching people a man and a woman have sex. But for a while it was just like I watched lesbians kissing, and as a young masturbator, as a young boy, I watched a lot of just like, I liked tender looking porn, like porn where people looked like they were really liked each other and they were really into each other, passionate. It seemed. Anyway, what the fuck am I talking about? Wow, I've gone deep on this one, huh? I've gone very deep. But still to this day, there's not enough kissing in. I like kissing, man. Am I the only fucking one who likes it? I've been with multiple people who are surprised at how much I like kissing, which makes me think, listen, man, people need to be more passionate and tender with one another, because what the fuck, dude? You gotta kiss, man. You gotta kiss. Otherwise, you're just fucking. You gotta kiss while you have sex, okay? In my opinion, all right? That way you're connected. It feels better. It's fucking. Next time you're having, if you don't usually kiss somebody while you're having sex, next time you're having sex with somebody, start kissing them a lot, and you'll notice, it doubles the sensation all over the place. It feels much better. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. I'm just saying, dude, if you love somebody, kiss them on the mouth and have sex with them. As long as you're both into it. How dark is that needs to even be said? But it does, because people are fucked up and gross in this world. Anyway, What the fuck am I going to talk about now? It's a very porn-heavy podcast. Should I switch to something else? Oh, man. The other topics I had are going to sound fucking weird. Okay. Here, I'll talk about this a little bit. Keanu Reeves. So Keanu Reeves, Here, I'll talk about this. I bought lube the other day from the supermarket, right? I don't understand this. And maybe I'm a fucking weird guy because I did just talk about pornography and masturbation and just how gross I and other men are because of how much just gross shit we watch online, how we just play video games all goddamn day. Maybe I'm a shameless fuck, but I don't understand people who are embarrassed about buying lube. I was at the supermarket the other day. I went to CVS the other day to buy lube, and it's not a big deal, man. Lube exists for you to masturbate with. That's why it's there. So if you're alone and you buy lube, I don't understand what you're worried about. The only thing that made me uncomfortable about this CVS was for some reason there were only, because it was my hometown, so for some reason there were only 90-year-old people and 14-year-old people. And that made me feel a little weird about, every time I buy lube in the city, it's all people 30 and up, I feel like. It's people 20s to 30s. It all makes sense. We all get the picture. But here it was like people who are too old to masturbate or people who are too young to feel comfortable about anything being in the line with me when I'm buying lube. So that was uncomfortable. But other than that, I don't understand people being uncomfortable with it. It's more uncomfortable that I'm buying a monster, a single monster with the lube. That's more embarrassing because it's like, hey man, what? But the lube itself, I've never been embarrassed by it. I think it's fun. It's natural. You got to masturbate. Listen, if you find yourself being very angry, I'll say it again. If you find yourself being mean to people, being shitty towards people, just all around, being a difficult and angry individual, try this. Go home, turn on a video that makes you feel excited, and masturbate. And I swear to God, afterwards, you won't be snapping at anybody, okay? For at least 5 hours, you will be very nice to everyone around you. I guarantee it, okay? It'll change the way you communicate with the world once you release the fucking pent-up shit inside your soul that's not getting out because you won't masturbate. Just fucking... Oh, man. Dude, there's so much shame involved with masturbation, too. For everybody. For all people. What is that about? Why am I just talking about only masturbation this episode? But seriously, there's so much fucking shame. And it's interesting, too, because I've talked to certain women I know will say things like, we'll talk about how for women it's even harder to or it's even more frowned upon masturbating. Which I don't agree with. I think for women it's more it's less talked about, I think. It's like people are less open about masturbation. Where men, it's been joked about a lot and it's more like in comedies, it's more like out in the open that men masturbate. But the shame is there for both of us. I mean, I still don't feel that good when I do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you feel good in your spirit, but there's somewhere in the back of your mind that's like, why the fuck did I do that? You know? There is some weird shame. And also, like, every time it's been open or shown in media, it's always very frowned upon. It's not like, hey, this guy masturbates. Isn't that great? It's usually like a joke at his expense or him being a piece of shit or whatever the fuck. I mean, even now I'm uncomfortable talking about all this shit because I feel like someone out there is going to be like, hey, that's gross. You're gross. You look at porn, you masturbate, you're fucking disgusting. So that shame is so interesting because it's so interesting that shame is there and that feeling of disgust is there when so many people are participants in this thing? I would argue that most people are participants in this shit, in, just the natural, maintenance of masturbation. And yet people feel a lot of shame doing it, and people put shame on other people for doing it, and that's fucked up. Yeah, I don't know what I'm getting at. Everyone should be open with that shit. Anyway, I'm done talking about masturbation. I just spent fucking almost 50 minutes on this thing talking about that shit. I'm done. If this is your last podcast, that's cool, man. Let me talk about Keanu Reeves. Speaking of masturbation, let's talk about Keanu Reeves. All right, Keanu Reeves right now is reaching peak levels of love, okay? And that's a good thing because I love Keanu Reeves. Everyone does. Everyone loves him right now. But the way things work nowadays is you hit peak love, and then I've been watching more and more interviews where the main question in the interview is, we hear Keanu is really nice. Can you tell us a story about how nice he was on set? And these co-stars are trying to have to dig for stories about Keanu Reeves being nice. And some of the stories are as simple as just like, oh yeah, like I asked like, what should I do for this scene? And he was like, hey man, do whatever you want. And I was like, oh, what a nice guy. Like, it's getting to the point where the co-stars are having to exaggerate his niceness to perpetuate this weird myth or this weird mythos around Keanu Reeves that he's so fucking nice. And when this unrealistic idea of somebody gets made, there's only so much time before people rip that person from that idea and throw them back onto the ground and piss on them and go, hey man, you're just a fucking person. Right? We're hitting the point where people are hearing Keanu Reeves is so nice so often that people are starting to look at Keanu Reeves and go, hey man, you're not that nice. And when that happens, the pitchforks come out and people start saying fucked up shit. And I'm worried because I love Keanu and he's already gone through that shit. And a friend of mine said this because I said I'm worried about him. And he was like, yeah, but he already went through the hate. And I was like, well, maybe, because he went through that whole vampire phase where he tried to do a British Dracula accent or whatever the fuck it was. And it was horrible. And everyone for a long time was like, this guy just is, he had an Ethan Hawke. Well, he had more hate than Ethan Hawke, but he had an Ethan Hawke kind of hate of like, this white dude just like lucked out. He failed upwards. He's just got fucking lucky. He's not a good actor. I don't agree with those things. That's just what people thought. I think Ethan Hawke and Keanu Reeves are great actors. Keanu Reeves is an amazingly dedicated stunt actor. Okay. He's like Tom Cruise, but in cooler movies. Anyway, so he did go through that phase, like Hardball. People fucking hated that movie, even though I loved Hardball. I don't mind Keanu Reeves. I like it when you call me Big Papa. Throw your hands in the air if you's a true player, because I see some ladies tonight that should be having my baby. The fucking little kid loves that song. It's his favorite song. And fucking he has Keanu Reeves sing it. And the whole team is singing it. If you've never seen Hardball, it's a movie about Keanu Reeves teaching at a predominantly black school. And no, he's kind of like a piece of shit. I think he's on parole. Anyway, he starts coaching baseball for this predominantly black team. I forget where it took place. But it's that typical story of like the white fucking person. But it wasn't a story of like this white teacher who comes in and is like, I'm gonna help underprivileged kids. It wasn't that condescending shit. It was like Keanu Reeves fucking hated his life, didn't want to do shit, and then I think he's community service to fucking coach this baseball team, and then so they were like, hey man, you're a piece of shit, but you're okay, you're kind of a nice guy. So the kids kind of made Keanu a better person. Which is what I liked about the movie. And the kid who loves Big Papa gets shot, and I fucking cried as a child. That might be the first movie I cried at. this kid gets shot, and I felt really bad. And the bullet wound was purple, which was really weird. And I was like, oh, is that a thing to make it sure it's PG-13? I think that movie was R because a kid gets fucking shot. And they were like, dude, if we make this movie R, so many kids are not going to be able to see this. Let's make it PG-13. So they probably just colored that bullet wound purple. Anyway, yeah, and the blood was black. Or it was very, very dark. Wow, I forgot about that. I remember seeing it being like, that's not how people bleed. I'm a child, but I know that's not how people fucking bleed, okay? This is some bullshit PG-13 nonsense. To use a word my dad says all the time, nonsense. But anyway, my point is, I don't want Keanu Reeves to subvert back to hardball Keanu because then everyone will hate him. I'll love him, but most people will fucking hate him again. I want it to continue to be John Wick levels of love, but at the same time, I don't know, man. Get out of my fucking video game, you know? It's cool that you're in Cyberpunk, but at the same time, like I said before, I play video games way too long. And if I'm going to see you for 30 fucking hours, I'm probably going to eventually not like you, okay? It's hard to like anybody for more than 2 hours, and I'm going to see you for fucking 30 hours while I'm playing video games all day and hating my life. There's no way that you're not going to get pulled into that hatred, and I'm going to not like you anymore, Keanu. So, good luck. All right, anyway, this camera might run out of battery any second because I went over the timer. But I love you guys. This was a great episode. I feel really good about it. I feel very cathartic and like I revealed a lot. If you guys are into my honesty, that's great. If you think, wow, this kid's fucked, don't listen anymore. But if you're still listening next week, I'll see you then. And I love you guys. And thank you for listening. Hope you have a good week.
J-A